Hello everybody and welcome back to another thought-provoking, God willing thought-provoking video. Today I'm joined with the one and only Davis. Now a lot of you may be thinking, why is his camera switched off? But if you've looked at the title, then you would know exactly what's up.
No, we're okay.
Drugs?
This is awkward. No, thank you.
Drugs.
Who invited?
He's decided to keep his identity completely anonymous. I'll let him introduce himself, his past, and what we're exactly going to be talking about. Davis, over to you. Introduce yourself, let them know Wagwan.
I am the one and only Davis. Thank you very much for your lovely introduction. Literally the age of 23 years old at the moment as we speak. I have a lot of to say about, my past, the future of where things are heading. I would like to just kind of like get stuck in.
Yeah, all right, let's look no further. Whilst I have been working in psychosis and just understanding the nature of what drugs can do to people subconsciously, and also understanding the neurological problems that a lot of young people, particularly in the Black community, is experiencing, doing basic deals, making a good enough income to get by, but also knowing the consequences of how it affects their people, and how usually out of the ignorance of drug conflict, it usually results in a lose-lose situation. You might have a different perspective of how it benefited you, the value that you got from it, and what it meant for you. So what exactly is the ignorance of drug conflict from your perspective?
The ignorance of drug complex from my perspective would be, everyone's playing a role. Everyone, for coming up as a younger, mom not being able to provide certain things. For me, it was about, all right, how do I find myself as a salesman? Compared to how, no matter how you look at it, there's a famous quote from Lucky Luciano which says, there is no such thing as good money or bad money, there is just money. When I had that, once I had that clicked in my head, I said, all right, cool. I started out in school selling donuts. We used to go Sainsbury's and then, try to double up. And then obviously outside, the school tried to put a stop to that, like they were the police. What is actually out here working? What can I do on a day-to-day where I'm not just sat down in one spot, one place at a time, and I could actually just freely move about and see different people? You find that yourself in a position where it comes with a lot of freedom. You're free to move as you please. You aren't restricted. That you feel alive. You get to a point where you feel alive. I decided, all right, cool, let's go take this direction. And I ended up benefiting from it, but what I noticed was that I wasn't in it for the long haul, because as you go deeper, the harder the drug, the harder the pressures. You understand? So my thing was, all right, cool, keep things simple and easy. I don't feel like I was doing any harm by selling a plant which makes people smile, which brings people together, which people have events for. Look at everyone now in America, Toronto. Uber's selling cannabis now. All right, cool. So you got to be able to waver what's bullshit and what's not. And for me, what I took from it was, can't no one really tell me that, from when you got, the govs telling you you can't do something, but they're going to do it themselves. It's a walking contradiction all the time.
And this is when corruption comes into play. Prisons were designed to incarcerate Black men. Marijuana is a widely used drug within the Black community, so they just put the two and two together and illegalize it. They know the biggest users of the drug and obviously incarcerate them. So 95% of Black men are usually in prison. So then it becomes a catch-22 game of hit and miss.
So when your weekend doesn't turn out the way you wanted it to, now you've got a load of food on your hands, and you've been out here putting yourself out. You've been roaming these streets, right? So now you got people that are envying you and have been watching your pocket. What you will find is just another man hating on you, hating on seeing you get it. White gal on mixed race gal hating on it. Don't discriminate it don't care what race you are. Listen, I know white guys who have stabbed other white guys for coke. You know, it's the game. This is the game. This is a part of a lifestyle, and this is why you need to know exactly what you're doing. Because it would be a shame. Like, there's guys that jump into it so early and they die early.
Yeah. But when I spoke to you, was it the day before yesterday, when we spoke about this particular concept of drug conflict, where it's the social norm to take a brother down, or to see a black man down?
It's a shame, really, because, you know, there's such an abundance of black people in our community, such an abundance of black people, families, you know, and even outside the borough, you know, and more time, you know, I find myself, what's it called? A culprit of looking at another black brother as an enemy.
Why do you think that is?
Why do I think that is? Because I think there's a stigma of this false lie we've been told, that, you know, not that you should trust nobody. You should trust nobody, and there's a stigma behind the stereotypical thing that they've put behind the shade, what it means to be a black person. My understanding of, all right, if something goes down, how am I going to deal with it? Due to everyone wearing masks, a lot of guys are badly clouded up. So what am I to now think? Who is who?
So sometimes drug conflict also become stimulate high levels of paranoia?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Towards their own.
Yeah, you know, when someone's, you know, in that lifestyle, what comes with it is, yeah, there's the aspect of, you know, making some money. However, there is that case of, you know, what comes with the rest of the things that come with this. You know, I think police is the last thing that ever comes on our mind. I think more time it's...
Would you say you're more fearful of another black man than the policeman?
Yeah.
For me, that's crazy.
Yeah, because people are greedy, and, you know, no one, like, at the moment, I don't know if you've seen LA right now, but they're like trying to tell tourists, like, if you come down here, we don't know if we can help you, because at the moment it's just so crazy. Like, the crime rate is just going up. Like, right now, it's not a game. Like, we've come. People are desperate more than ever since this COVID thing has happened.
And desperate for what? To make money, or what exactly?
Desperate to make money, to not ever feel like they've got to struggle again. You think it wasn't easy for everyone when there was the whole quarantine. You know, you really got to make sure that your people are taken care of. So people are like, "Right, you're not from my tribe. I don't know you from anywhere. Let me do you dirty."
Drugs. In all the visits that I've made into the prisons, I've never seen any white people in prison for drugs, or Chinese people, or Indian people, or Syrians. But according to Dr. Darius Figuera, there are no African drug lords on the top level. He said all of the drug lords, the major importers and traffickers of illegal narcotics in Trinidad, are whites, Chinese, Syrians, and Indians. But African people are 95% in the prison. And when the white people and the Syrians and the Chinese traffic drugs, they buy houses, property, land, real estate, send their children to university, buy cars and trucks, businesses, and expand their entrepreneurship. When we sell drugs, apart from going to jail or getting shot and killed in some ignorant gang conflict, what do we do with the money that we make from the drugs? Spinning rims, paint job on a car, gold chains. Oh man, if that's how you're thinking, that those gold chains are representing chains of slavery that have been taken off our hands and feet and put on our minds but falling down to our necks.
Meanwhile, within the Black community, when we are trafficking drugs, it's usually to purchase Gucci or just designer brands or gold chains.
You can see that from, I think it's not hard for anyone to see that Black people don't value things as much. It's more about for themselves. You know, Mr. T said he wears his chains because of his ancestors, you know, having to be shackled up. Well, I think that's complete utter, you know, BS. I don't, you know, the chains, you wore the chains because you wanted to wear the chains. Depending on how you want to see it, that's what you did. Did you buy any land? Are your family living straight? You know, same amount of money you use on these Cuban links and all these things. Like, did you take care of your people? You know, did you build a school like a Jewish person would? Did you build a butcher's for your local community for a Black man to say, all right, cool, I sell meat? You know, did you help? Did you do any of those sort of things?
A lot of Black people might not have a good understanding of maybe financial independence, investments, savings, how to budget and how to invest.
It's the ignorance which is, you know, what we're talking about here. Because anyone can learn anything. You know, you can learn how to manage money better. You know, from when you got the money to buy Gucci and all these things, you can put that money into a course with, you know, some of the world's best leaders. You know, I once had an uncle who had despised me for not listening to his advice, but rather listening to Bob Proctor's advice. Bob Proctor is a millionaire in the US. There is a lack of knowledge within, you know, the Black community, and even when there is knowledge, the Black person is ignorant and doesn't want to apply it. And when they're not applying it and they're seeing other people apply it before them, it becomes a thing of, you know, either hating on them or leeching their way to the top.
Yep.
You know, they don't want to do the work, but you must sacrifice and do everything, learn, take your time to research and whatnot. But then they're trying to come up off of you. Or, you know, let's put some money over here into this investment. You know, it's no. The minute that they start seeing results, it's like, yeah, how can I get involved?
Yeah. And what I would say, that's a result of a lack of community and a lack of leadership.
You know, I had to even sign into Google yesterday how to move correct. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to Google after that, how do I live a much richer life? You know, because these things are important. When you're trying to go in a direction, you need to know exactly what it is you want and get clear on that very thing you want. You got to the people who can use as your mentors when you ain't got no mentors.
Yeah.
You got to start buying books first.
Absolutely, knowledge is power.
And then you got, and this what
And
this
you
is
have to have
the
right. You have to have the right role models, of course, that you can look at.
right role models, of course, because my uncle surely couldn't be my role model. Ambitious, you know, entrepreneurial. They're out here trying to find anything that they can get their hands on. They're aware of the ignorance, which is what makes it so much easier. I think it makes it so much easier knowing that everyone else is asleep.
They say the biggest trick of the devil is convincing the world he doesn't exist. The biggest quote, I guess the biggest quote is business is business.
Yes.
So with that said, from your perspective of someone who's still, do you have any regrets?
Do I have any regrets? No. I did what I had to do in order to take care of myself. Otherwise, who would have done it?
Because I want to see the beautiful young kings and queens grow up in a world where they don't feel threatened for their lives, and they don't always need to be fearful of one another.
Well, most definitely, man.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. You know, that's just my, you know, my philosophy is my philosophy, innit? My opinion is my opinion. You know, I've been close to it all. You know, I've seen it for what it is. I've seen the beauty in it, and I've seen the ugly. Really and truly, like, we're all just trying to live our lives and better our lives, as well as, you know, before thinking, putting ourselves first, before putting the community first. Because with the world, what happens when the world is on your back? You can't function. You can't take care of your kids. You can't take care of yourself. You can't take care of your missus.
Mr. Sir Davis, once again, is there anything you'd like to say?
I would like just, you know, once again, thank you. Congratulations on, you know, trying to get this out there. You know, I think it's important that, you know, people know that not all drug dealers are bad.
Thank you, guys. If you did enjoy this video, please subscribe. Please comment your thoughts down below, and any shared experiences that you've also outlived and that you can also share, please put it in the comment section below. Without further ado, I thank you for watching. If you made it this far, that's a wrap from me and Mr. Davis. He is gone. Peace and love and all of the above.